All right, welcome to our first edition of the Bo Jackson Elite Commitment Spotlight. We're here with Luke Krouse. And Luke, how you doing, man?
Good, I'm doing good.
Good, thanks for
Thanks for
joining.
having me.
Oh, absolutely, man. We're pumped to celebrate your commitment to Bowling Green and kind of walk through what that process was like for you. And definitely we're all very, very happy for you and proud of what you went through. So, yeah, give us an idea out of the gate. What was talk to us about your recruiting process as a whole. You know, did it kind of start slow? And let's go back a couple years and how this whole thing began for you.
Yeah, so it was pretty slow. My freshman spring, we were very successful for the high school season, and we ended up we got to the regional final, and we faced Kalida, and they pitched Owen Recker later in the game, and he was committed to Bowling Green. So BG was there to watch him, and then they had the opportunity to watch me pitch too because I was pitching that game. So that's kind of where it started. And then Coach Halleck called my dad just to kind of talk, just kind of introduce himself to my dad, and kind of talked about baseball in Northwest Ohio and stuff. And so he talked with him, and then I think it was maybe like a month or a couple weeks, I started talking with Coach Halleck and stuff. So I talked to him for about a year. It was probably about once every month, maybe twice every month, and just kept going and going. And then I eventually went to a fall prospect camp of my freshman year. So it'd been that summer. So right after that summer, I went there that fall. And I loved the field. I loved the atmosphere of it. It kind of felt like Antwerp. I like the small kind of college feel. It was nice. Coach Halleck was awesome. That was really the first time I really interacted baseball wise with him. We went into the bullpen, kind of pitched a little bit, kind of talked about different types of pitches. And so that prospect camp was a lot of fun. And so I continued to talk with him. And then once the spring season got canceled, he kind of wanted to know what I was doing. I said, I think I'll still stick with Bo Jackson and stuff. So that's really what it was. There was one other school in the MAC that was talking to me as well, and they were kind of at the point where they were just introducing themselves. But BG was just awesome. I really had my eyes set on that. Plus, with it being close to home, it was just a good opportunity for me, and family can come watch, people in the community can come watch, and it was just a good deal overall. So it was good.
It's awesome. Yeah, talk a minute about your family and just what this whole recruiting process was like for you guys as a whole. And was there a family member or two that just really was supportive throughout the journey that you want to highlight here?
Yeah, so mom and dad were obviously a huge part in it, and I mean grandma and grandpa are too. Helped me get to a travel ball tournament, or even my aunts and uncles, like they'll go along and just maybe come to a game and drive back home. So it's kind of just that support system that I've had, and I really didn't want to lose that when I went to college. I really wanted to maintain that just because of how special it's been since I was a little kid. So I really wanted to keep that. But yeah, my dad, pretty much most importantly, we always go to the baseball field probably almost every day just to hit or throw or just do something at the baseball field. So it was awesome just to know that they can come to just about every game depending on their schedules and stuff. But just with it being close, it was an awesome opportunity for me.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. So go back to Coach Halleck for a second. You know, he's certainly a rising star in the
Yeah.
college baseball profession, very well known, and he's thought of very, very highly. So talk to us a little bit about him. And, you mentioned the first time was probably at that prospect camp, but, throughout the journey, what impressed you most about Coach Halleck and him as a person and as a coach?
Yeah. So I first started talking to him, and he was more of just let's just learn about you type of person. Baseball really was sometimes in the conversation, but he was more focused on school, how I was doing, how the family was doing. So that was a really big piece. But then one that stuck with me was that he was a left-handed pitcher at Kent State as well. So I'm a left-handed pitcher. So it mean, lefties think differently, so it's awesome to connect with him.
I'm a lefty too, man. I don't know if you see my
Yeah.
video, but you're speaking my language right now. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a huge piece for me just because of that connection level with him. It was never I never misunderstood anything with him. I knew what it was, and plus for me, like with Bowling Green, I thought the education part, that's kind of what I want to go in, and I know BG's awesome with education, but yeah, with Halleck taking over the head coaching job, I think it'll be nice that BG gets a new face, just because I mean Coach Schmitz has been there for quite a while, but I mean he did awesome. He was fantastic when I went there too. He was awesome, but just with bringing in that new face, I think that will help out the recruiting as well. He told me that he wants to recruit more out of the 419 out of Northwest Ohio. Just get those Northwest Ohio guys coming in, and so I think that was also a kind of a big piece, just because I probably will know, like, hopefully we get a few more signed here from this area.
Yeah.
So I think knowing those guys, and because we all act the same way. It's not. I mean, it's country, so it's a pretty big important piece where you'll get along with those people. So I think him telling me that he wants to get more kids out of the 419, and I kind of wanted to start that with BG, so I kind of wanted to be a big focal point for Coach Halleck, but then also know that I'm ready to ride the ship with him. So I think that was a pretty big piece. So yeah, I was pretty happy when he took over that job. So
yeah, that's great, man. Yeah, you're spot on for sure. So talk to us a little bit about your entire recruiting journey. The ups and downs. Were there ever moments where whether it's a game, a prospect camp, or a lack of calls or comparison, or was there ever moments where you were discouraged in this journey?
yeah, I mean, there was some points where you're like, well, what do I need to do different? And my dad was a pretty big piece of that, where he just like, let's just keep doing what we're doing. Let's just keep working a plan. So we kept doing that. Quarantine really was a good thing, but also a bad thing. I was able to work out almost every day, just to get my schoolwork done. It was kind of nice, actually, because I'd work till noon and then be able to do baseball for the rest of the afternoon or a couple hours. So that was a pretty big piece. But then the part that hurt me, I think, the most was the competition part of it, where I was trying to, like, I'd say radar gun myself, but then my numbers wouldn't be good just because I'm throwing to a target instead of trying to strike out a batter. So, I mean, I was probably upper 70s for most of that, just because I'm trying to get going again. But I mean, I'm not facing anybody, and I don't have that. I mean, I want to strike out someone, not just throw to a target. So that was a tough part of it. But that was probably the toughest part. So we figured out a new plan. I have a hitting coach up in Fort Wayne that I've went to since I was little, and his son is actually he's at Illinois State. His son is. So he was able to bring in some college guys from the Fort Wayne, Indiana area. So I was able to pitch against those guys, and my miles per hour were getting better, and I was able to work on more curveballs and stuff, change up. So that was a pretty big help for me, just continue to get ready. So that being able to work out with some of those other college guys was kind of a big help for me. So
right. No, that makes total sense for sure. So you played for Coach Schaefer this last summer, and Coach Schaefer's been around the block and has had a lot of guys come through, and you guys had a very, very talented team this summer.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about that. What was the best part of playing for Coach Schaefer and being a part of BJE this summer?
Yeah, so I think just the competition part of it, where Coach Schaefer strives on just compete until the end. So I think that was a big part of it. I really loved that part where he just wants you to compete. He doesn't care about the outcome. He just wants you to go out, have fun, and just do your best. And it's a really relaxed feel. I think he does a great job. But I mean, he'll get on you. He'll get on you if you're not ready for the next play or ready for that tournament, or just so he wants you to prepare yourself. So I think he's preparing us slowly for college, but I mean, he's doing it in a very good way. So I think Coach Schaefer's been awesome. I played with them. I think this will be my third year now with Coach Schaefer. Mm-hmm. So he's been awesome. But then the kids too, We have a lot of, especially from the left-handed pitcher side. I mean, we got Landon Price and then Luke Schlimm. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun to compete, and we can always talk about different stuff just because we're all lefties. So we all know what to expect. So we can talk about different types of pitches in the dugout or whatever it may be. But we also have a close friendship. So that's an also big part of why travel ball is so special, is because you create more friendships from, I mean, all over the state. So it was awesome. I was able to meet some new kids from this team. But yeah, it was a great summer.
Very cool. Yeah, very cool. Well, last question here, man. And you know, when you made the commitment, you jumped from kind of one category of uncommitted to you're committed. And there's a lot of guys younger than you that are maybe beginning this process. There's
Yeah.
you know, guys in middle school are looking up to you for sure in the Northwest Ohio area. And you know, what would be some advice you'd give to guys that are beginning this recruiting process or beginning high-level travel baseball process? And you know, if you could kind of share some wisdom that you learned in your journey with them, what would that be?
Yeah. So I think a thing that a problem that I had with it, like I struggled too. I mean, I played up at age with Bo Jackson. It'd been going into my freshman year. I played up, and it was a struggle just because of how, I mean, adversity hits, and I mean, you're not as good as what some of those other kids are. So you just got to compete, and I think it helped me. It helped me in the long run for sure. Just, but I would say just don't get overwhelmed, especially if there are some kids better than you. I would just say you just got to keep competing against them. If you work harder than them, the kids that are better than you, then you might have a chance at beating them. So I think just the competition piece of it, I wouldn't get too stressed about. Just have fun. Don't worry about the coaches, I would say. I think that'll come. But then especially at the younger ages, I think you should just have fun. I mean, you want to go win tournaments and celebrate. So I think that's a pretty big piece. But I think from like if you wanted to be a pitcher, I think especially at a young age, I think you just got to continue to throw. I don't know if I would like do anything with weighted balls, especially at a younger age yet. But I think that time will come for those kids. But just continue to throw. Tom Held from Defiance.
Yeah.
I went to a lot of his camps, and he just stressed you just got to keep throwing and long toss. And so I think a couple of kids at my school have asked me, so what do you do? And so I just said, you just got, like, when I was your age, I just kept throwing. I didn't work out as much probably as when I was younger, but yeah, I think just keep throwing, and most importantly, just have fun. It's baseball, and so you can't get overwhelmed. So yeah. I think having fun is the biggest part, and just continue to keep throwing. So
yeah, man, that's awesome. That's great advice for sure. And well, hey man, thanks for taking the time to jump on here with me. And you know, like I said, we're so pumped for you and excited for what's coming next. You're heading to Bowling Green. You're staying in the 419. It seemed like, you know, as we talked, you know, staying in that area, you know, I've been up there. It's a lifestyle up there, and you get to play Division I baseball in the same area you grew up. And so that's an incredible accomplishment, and we're so proud of you. And don't forget though that the work is just beginning, right? You're gonna keep growing, keep developing. You got a lot of runway in front of you. So definitely congrats, and thanks again for hopping on, man.
Yep. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.